So is it a case then of quality or quantity then?
In terms of the photographer,
Well, yeah. So if you're gonna send stuff into a stock library, are you better off sending in lots of images, or are you better off just sending a few better ones?
I it's a tricky one. Good question, Jack. I think sometimes if you only submit 100 images to a library a year, um, even if they are 100 absolute stonking images, I think by the very nature of stock, they might get lost in amongst others. So if you send 100 images a year and you send one absolutely mind-blowing puffin image, by the very nature of a stock library, a good picture researcher, someone like me, will know that picture's there, and will make sure it gets used in the right places. But an external client scouring the library might miss it in amongst the other 100 or so puffin photos that get submitted in that year.
Because isn't it
It
as
might get
well?
it might get pushed down the sort of pecking order or something like that.
Well, I guess if you've got 20 pages of puffins, how many people are realistically going to look for all 20? They'll probably search the first two or three, maybe, and they'll pick
Yeah.
from that, unless they've got something really specific. I
Yeah,
would
so
imagine.
that's when a good picture researcher comes in, because the good picture researcher either knows the library inside out or is so committed to finding the best picture that they'll scan all 20 pages.
Yeah.
So that's when some good picture research comes in. But as I say, not everybody is a picture researcher. Not everybody has the time to do that sort of picture research. And yes, if you send them your one best puffin, but then the other photographers in the library send in their 30 or 40 best puffins, and there's multiple photographers doing it, your one best puffin could get pushed down to page 5, to page 6, to page 7, and then yes, might get missed off, and then not used, and then not sell. And then you then think stock libraries are not worth your time and effort because your images are not selling. It's not a reflection on the quality of the image, and it's not even a reflection on stock libraries. It's just stock libraries you do need to be a regular contributor to a stock library to really make it work, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, and either regularly contributing something that people keep needing and wanting, or regularly contributing such a good variety that you hit up a lot of different things. So if you send images of singing birds, but you also send images of garden, macro, wildlife, but you also take a few landscapes, and you even send some images of people, people out in nature, you're covering all those bases, as long as you're not spreading yourself too thinly and not getting quality. But if you're covering all those bases, I suppose you've got a good chance of making lots of sales, because
Yeah.
you're hitting up all the sort of key areas. If you're specializing in one thing, fish, for example, great, because whenever an image request comes in, or whenever a job comes in that requires fish imagery, you're going to be one of the only people there that make a sale. But then if there's a year between those sorts of jobs coming in, you could be sitting there sort of waiting and waiting, and your fish image is not selling, I suppose. So
Yeah. No.
there's almost a science and an art to all of
No,
this.
no, I agree, because I get a lot of photographers say to me, "There's no money in stock anymore," and it's changed. I actually, so I make money through the stock libraries, but I do a lot of private stock sales as well, where people come directly to me, and it makes up a good more, not I'm going to say the exact figure, but more than people would think. So I wouldn't necessarily say stock is dead. I think you put into it. I mean, I guess again, you mentioned the fish thing. There's not a very long list of people, so it might be slightly different for me, but I tend to do okay out of it. But